for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Matt Gleason. I'm the president of Galaxy Marketing Solutions, and this is an Inc. 500 dental marketing agency. That's our primary profession, so we really know it inside and out. We know all the terminology. We know we have various campaigns that we use for dentists across the United States. And part of my hat as the president is to keep my nose to the air as far as what's happening with marketing, where is it going, what's working well for people, what are areas that need to be developed. You know, that's kind of like what I consider my job and my duty. And then when I really have come across something that's it's really something and really pivotal, then I get it relayed to everybody so that they can act on it and get it into action. And the whole idea is that I want you guys doing great. Like, I want a lot of business driven in on your practices. I want you to help a ton of people. I want you to live well and be viable. And so something has come down the pike that is really, I consider really important. It's actually so important that I even signed our own company up for it. But I'm going to walk you through the whole deal on it so you really see what I'm talking about. So that's me, and then this is my partner, Kenton Gray. And what we're going to be discussing is this whole subject of online reviews, which is just, it's coming into prominence as like, it's a thing. It's a very big thing, and it actually totally influences any other marketing that you may be doing. So we're going to cover this in detail. Have any of you actually faced a scenario with like an empty waiting room and like there's not much happening in your office?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, not super comfortable situation. How does that actually affect you in your practice when that's going on?
It brings the morale down of the entire office.
Absolutely, thank you. So we want to handle that, you know? Simply put, we don't want that going on, and we want to take whatever actions we can do to make sure that that doesn't happen. So now, what would a consistently higher level of new patients do for you in your practice? Like, that's a question. What, like, if your new patient numbers really opened up, what would be the result of that?
Increased production, collections, salaries.
Expansion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'd be fun. You know, you'd probably run into some new problems, or like, oh my God, we don't have this, or we really need to hire a new person for this, because, you know, it'd be like, you'd be away, you know, it'd be some good action. So now online reviews are very often the clincher that makes a person decide to actually take action and come in to see you. Is that real to you, that that's the case?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak, you know, just as a private citizen, like I order tons of stuff off of Amazon, and it's like the reviews are key. You know, if I pay attention to my own behavior and like what actually causes me to like make that final click, it's really the reviews. Is the same for you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. So then another important element of this is you may well be doing other marketing actions that are really good actions and proven, but kind of like the key clincher or the cherry on the top is if you can back that up being well represented on the internet with good reviews, that's really kind of the closer, you know, with the actually causes the action of the guy, in many cases of the guy picking up the phone and calling you. All right. Now, with any dental office, and I've talked to a zillion dentists, like dentists are, I love working with dentists because they're really good men and women. Like they really care. You know, they've chosen a career path because they care about people and they have good hearts, and their patient base really love them. You know, except for like the little trouble source 1% guys who have a problem with everything. Many patients are just totally loyal and love their dentist. So 99% of your patients love you, so how do you get that reality properly represented online? You know, and that's what we're talking about with marketing and public relations. You have to take, the good news is you have an existing reality that people do love you, and you're their dentist, and they're loyal to you, and so forth. But in like a lot percent of the cases, that's not really represented online the way it should be. And if we handle that point, it really makes a huge difference. So how would it affect your new patient flow if you came across as the obvious choice when someone searched Google for a dentist in your area? You know, they went on, and all of a sudden you come up, you've got a lot of great reviews, and it's right on the search results page. This is even before they even click through to your website. It's just right on the search result where, bang, okay, Dr. Jones is obviously the man. Like, people love him. He's got a ton of reviews. Many people won't even look further than that. It's like Dr. Jones won it. So So the question is it even possible to control your online reviews? And if it were, how could you use that to your advantage to drive more people into your office and make all of your other marketing efforts more effective? Would you like to know the answer to that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So consider this. Everyone has a smartphone and they use it constantly. Is that real?
Yes.
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 I mean, people are fixated to this. Like, I actually have to, personally, it reminds me of like the cowboys, you know, when they would go into a saloon and they'd have to hang their guns up at the door. I literally put my cell phone on top of the refrigerator because it's like it has managed to creep its way into my mind so much that I like subconsciously like check this thing all the time, and not even for critical things, you know. So I actually like, you know, I talked it over with my wife and I'm like, okay, look, the cell phone goes on the fridge when I come in so I can actually arrive home, you know. And so it's just a thing because people are so plugged in, and you know, there's good points and bad points to that. So for the first time in history, we're all connected 24/7, and that's a little bit weird in some cases, but at the same time, it makes a very exciting time to be in business because you literally have access to everyone in your community, and they have access to you as well, and it has not always been that way. So now, as far as how to beat the competition and ensure consistent growth, from our observation and experience, most of your competition is really far behind in adopting current online marketing practices. And those that embrace the changes and take advantage of new technologies have a tremendous competitive advantage. And basically these days, I don't have to tell you, anything you want to know is now on Google. Google is like the Yellow Pages. In fact, I literally cannot recall the last time I used actual Yellow Pages. I would have to be in kind of extreme circumstances, you know, like stuck somewhere or something. So I turn to Google for just about everything. How about you guys?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So it's real, you know, it's a thing. So now the other thing that I learned about and I found really interesting when I first started to my eyes started to open up on this whole subject of reviews, is that if you're well represented in the search result page, so if someone does Kissing Me Florida Dentist, and bang, you come up, and you've got a lot of good reviews and good star ratings, and you can read them right there on the result page, in a sense, Google becomes your home page because there's enough data right there, including all your contact data, your hours, everything. There's enough data right on the search results page that you could close somebody to call in and become a new patient right there before they even click through to your website. And that really hit home to me of like, okay, well, we need to, you know, it used to be the home page of your website is the key thing, and certainly it is important. But you can even preempt that and get a step ahead of even that by being really well represented on the search result page. So moving on, the revolution is now. Since the creation of smartphones, a revolution of epic proportions has occurred, and virtually everyone is carrying around a personal computer that is more powerful than the computer that put a man on the moon. This has completely changed the way that we get information and make decisions. Is that real to you?
Yes.
So smartphone users are looking for you. So 95% of smartphone users search for local information, and 85% of all searches for a local business are now made on a mobile device. It's pretty significant numbers. You guys probably know, but this is what it looks like if you go searching around. You know, you get, Google just changed, so basically you have, it used to be the top 7 results, now you get the top 3 results. This is on a mobile. You get the top 3 results on a mobile phone, and then if you click there, you'll get more results, which go over here. And this is just an example. You see all the star ratings and stuff like that. Most areas do not look like that. Most areas, there's one guy who's kind of caught on to the fact that he needs to really pump up his online reviews, and other guys are just left in the dust, and they have 0 reviews or 1 review, and it's like really desolate, which is good news for you because it's like virgin real estate that you can really move into and dominate. All right, so then this is what Google looks like on a desktop now. You get the top 3, and then you can click for more. And I like this example because this is the service I'm going to be briefing you more on. This doctor right here, Jeffrey Lee, actually uses it, and he has a very systematic machine set up that asks for and gathers and publishes review across the internet. And if you look at this, if you were to search oral surgeon Tustin, California, you get these three guys coming up. Now, if you look at those three guys, who comes across as the obvious choice?
The one with 4.5 stars.
Yes. Definitely. Like, the other guys are just, they're literally nowhere. And Jeffrey Lee is like a champ. He has 4.7. He's got 98 reviews. He has even more now. The point is he comes across as the obvious choice. And that's our whole intention, is to set it up so you are the obvious choice. So this is like, if you expand it, you get these further results. You can see there's Jeffrey Lee. And that's he's nowhere, he's nowhere, he's nowhere, he's nowhere. This guy is out of the gate, although he's only got 5 reviews. This is our Dr. Jeffrey Lee, and when you click on his name, this whole thing comes flying out, and then it actually gives you data about the guy, and it shows you, you can actually read some of the reviews. You could call him right there. You can see his hours. By being so well represented, he can really preempt. The other doctors, because really all the core data that's persuasive is right there on the search results page. So when you look at it, there's actually 4 keys to practice success, and what does it take to bring all these pieces together? So for practice success, marketing-wise, you need traffic, people coming in. You need to be visible. That includes physical stuff like people can find your building, there's signage, but it also very much means that you're findable on the internet, because people have got so much attention on this thing. That's where their eyeballs are, so that's where you want to be. And then the point of influence is just basically the fact of good reviews and good star ratings, which position you as an authority. They positions you as the guy that everybody loves, or the gal, and that has strength and leverage. And then engagement, which is just when people do reach out to you or respond, you're actually there and there's somebody paying attention so that you actually at least acknowledge them or say, oh, thank you very much, or it's great to hear from you, we loved having you. And so you have that two-way communication, because that's very important and it builds rapport. So every problem you're experiencing is because one or more of these 4 elements are not functioning properly for your practice. Visibility means showing up on Google. 85% of searches for local business are done from mobile devices. People check you out online before they call or visit. Have you experienced that?
Yes.
Yeah. It's the reality these days. They will check you out online even if they've been referred, like by their best friend. They'll still check you out online. And even if they've received a promotion or flyer, they'll still check you out online. So the conclusion is you have to look good online. Simple enough. All right, now on to the influence point. So people have to have some kind of compelling reason for someone to choose you. Like, why are they going to choose you over somebody else? And that's really the reviews. Fellow citizens of planet Earth have gone out of their way to communicate that this guy's a good guy and I got great service and I'm very happy. That's compelling. New patients check you out online to find out what your existing patients say about you. And in the world of marketing, you have to have this viewpoint that you have about a 1/10 of a second to make an impact. Because you know how it is. People are there on their phone and they're going bing, 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 until something is well marketed enough to really catch their eye. So you have about a 1/10 of a second to make an impact. Your name will be less than 1/8 of an inch from your competition on the search results page. And in a flick of a finger, they will choose you or someone else. So what do people actually do when they're searching for healthcare? They simply scan the reviews on each listing. They want to see what other people are saying. And they're looking for what's known as a social signal, or I've heard the term social proof. Are you familiar with this term?
No.
It's just, social comes from society, which is like the other people, fellow citizens. And it's basically a confirmation that other people, like you might get a very compelling postcard or some kind of piece of promotion, but in some cases it will take that final bit of social proof to push you over the edge to actually do something. And that's reviews. Like, okay, well, the postcard looks good and I like what they're saying, but what do people really think? Like, what's really the story? Anyone can print it, can make themselves look and sound good, but like, what do my fellow citizens have to say about this? And that's what's known as a social signal, or I've heard it called social proof. And that's really summed up in reviews. Here's a guy, he's got nothing to gain from this, and he lives in your town. He said, this dentist has been great to me. I brought my family in, I refer my friends to him, and he's our dentist. That's like some seriously good social proof that would easily close somebody to go, well, if Joe's going there and he's happy, I'll go there. So social signals are your current customers talking about your business and sharing online. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Okay, perfect. Now here's just a few stats. Your reputation impacts the bottom line of your business. So 92% of users read online reviews before selecting a business. That's significant. 74% of users say they will not select a business with poor reputation. And then even a 1-star difference, like the difference between 3 stars and 4 stars or 4 stars and 5 stars in review results, changes revenue by about 5% to 9%. So this whole thing of reviews definitely is real. You know, it affects the viability of your company and your budget and what you have to promote with and all of that. And a little more data on the value of a high star rating, you know, like 3, 4, or 5 stars. There's a 1/2 star increase in a business rating can add up to a 10% increase in revenue. Because bad reviews cost you new patients. And a recent Harvard Business School study found that a 1-star rating decrease can reduce revenues by nearly 10%. So it literally pays you to stay on top of all the reviews that are posted about your business. Does it make sense that this is really a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually a thing. That's why I'm taking a lot of time on it, because I think it's really pivotal for a lot of people. So it's like, who would you choose? You know, would you choose the ice cream store with 2 stars or 4 stars?
4 stars.
Yes. It's just the way things roll out there. All right, so to get set up for all of this, there's 3 things that every business needs. It needs a Google Plus account. Do you all have a Google Plus account?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good, that's really important. Obviously, it's tied into Google. It's part of the Google system. Google, you know, we kind of have to bow down to Google because they rule the search engines. And so you have a Google Plus account, and then you get specifically Google reviews. There are different kinds of reviews, and they're all important, like Yelp reviews and so forth. But Google reviews are the ones that turn up on the search result page. And then, one other thing that you may or may not be aware of is that online there are a few major online registries that basically gather and keep data about every business out there. One's called Info Group, and there's various others. There's 4 or 5 really big ones. And this is a little tedious point, but your data has to be totally accurate in those online listings. Because, for example, if in one of those listings there's no suite number, and then in one there is, that could create enough of a confusion for Google where they won't do anything, and they'll just seize, and they won't do anything for you. So you really have to do the homework of making sure your data is 100% accurate and consistent across those online registries. All right. And then the following point, the final point is you have to engage the reviewer. Do you all use social media and that kind of thing, like Facebook page and respond to comments and all of that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you're already onto this. Some people aren't. But basically, it's really like, you know, what would you do if someone who's in your store right now reviewing it? You would talk to them, you would handle their questions, you know, and you would be building rapport. Similarly, if you're at a cocktail party and someone said, wow, what a great home you have, and you just sat there silent, you know, it wouldn't do much for the relationship. So you do have to pay attention to that and acknowledge them and say thank you, and it really doesn't require much. Sometimes just a sentence like, oh, wow, it's so nice to see you, thanks. The question I pose to you, is there a real solution that will put you totally in control of your online reviews and get your great care and results properly represented online? That is the question. Yes, there is a solution. I'm going to tell you about it. So the solution is a software system called LimeLight. And just to clear up what the term LimeLight itself means, so you've heard this term like when someone's in the limelight, they're basically in the center of public attention. You're all familiar with this term?
Yes.
Yeah, and it actually comes from old theater days. This spotlight where they actually heated up this mineral called lime, and it would burn super hot and very bright. And so if someone was in the limelight, they were in a very intense spotlight where you really saw them and they really stood out. So that's kind of the theme of this thing being called LimeLight, as it really makes you stick out online. Here's an example of the LimeLight service. So basically, this is a review station in an orthodontic practice. And this is kind of like coming into the modern age when people check into the office. They actually step up to a terminal like that, and they actually log in and they input their data. And that's like over here, this is what they see at the tablet. They actually put in their information, and then right then and there, they can actually, they'll be able to provide feedback after their visit. Because a real key point I want to make is going back to the fact that 99% of the people actually love the practice and love the care. And so the real game is how to pull that out of people, how to kind of tactfully, without harassing them or whatever, get them to express their reviews and their good experiences so that that can be expressed online, and you can really show what your practice is all about. So there's the tablet right as you check in. It gathers the person's contact info, and then it'll actually follow up with them and gently ask for a review. So this panel in the middle, this is actually an email, and it says, "Hi, Colin, just want to send you a quick thank you note for trusting me and for being such a wonderful patient. I would like to know about your experience with my clinic. A few words of feedback would mean the world to my team and me." So you can put a review on the website and also a review on Yelp. They also can get a text message. "Hey, Colin, got a second? Would appreciate your feedback." So it kind of gently and on their phone, where they're putting their attention, makes that whole process easier so they can actually give their feedback, submit it, and it's very, very easy, but it's very powerful because you get that success that you can publish out online. So the other element of it is we gather reviews from across the web and promote the best reviews everywhere. So you already have reviews out on the internet, and there's a function that just goes out and scours the internet for those reviews, and then gets them published across your social media, your website, and actually as part of this service, you'll have a whole secondary website that's just a reviews showcase. That's just going to be, you see that thing in the middle? Cherry Creek Family Dental, that's actually a review website that would just have your reviews on it and your star ratings, just because it's so pivotal. So we search the internet, gather those up, and get them published. And then the other thing about it is there's a filter to all this, because there is a percentage of people that just tend to be trouble sources, and they will never be satisfied no matter what you do. And there will be a few people who had a legit complaint. That's fair, but you don't necessarily want to promote that. So there's a filter where you can catch the not-so-good reviews and actually just either handle it, contact the guy and handle it on a quality control level, or if the guy's just a trouble source, then you just get him off your lines, and that's the end of that. So gathers reviews from hundreds of sites and generates new ones, approves reviews, responds to reviews, and manages negative reviews. And then you promote like hell the positive reviews on website, Facebook, Twitter, Google search, major review sites, and you just really broadcast. Because the definition of public relations is good works well publicized. So it's sort of not enough to sit there in your office performing good work. Even though that's a positive thing, you have to take the action to get it well publicized. That's just how the world works. So here's an example. Here's a guy who's well represented. He comes up on top. You can read the reviews immediately on the search result page, and he comes across like the boss. He looks dominant, and it looks like, okay, well, this guy, is the obvious choice. All right, a little bit more on the reviews showcase. So this is actually a separate website that gets created that just showcases your reviews, just to highlight them because the reviews are so pivotal. And basically, it shows up really well on a desktop and on a mobile phone, and it's just like good news after good news after good news after good news, and also from various sources. So you see, if you look closely at this, there's reviews from Yelp, there's reviews from Yellow Pages, Google, Yahoo. It's just like you just slam them with all the good news. Here's another example. This is from a salon and spa, and basically reviews increase appointments and sales, and that's what we want for you. Shows up good on any kind of device. It shows up across your social media networks, etc. So essentially, this system is reputation management made easy and includes social sharing. Share your best reviews to Facebook, Twitter, your own website, and 50-plus partner review sites. just other sites that feature reviews. You stand out versus the competitors. You rank higher on Google search results with positive reviews and star ratings. That's definitely something that Google looks for when they're placing you in the search rankings, is current reviews and good star ratings. You get new patients by landing new customers when your business shows up everywhere with 5-star reviews. You protect your brand by keeping your finger on the pulse to quickly address customer issues. You know what customers are saying. You can monitor what your customers are saying about you on all the top review sites and handle accordingly. You generate positive reviews from your happy customers via mobile, email, and the check-in device in the office. You get reports and analytics that give you, your growth and reviews, ratings, traffic, return on investment. And basically, it can be found everywhere. You expand your online presence to 140 million plus users on 50 plus major consumer sites. What do you think about all that?
Good.
Yeah, it's really taken the bull by the horns in this whole area. So basically, we want everyone to do great, and we see what a key thing this is. So we're really want to take the time to brief people on LimeLight and encourage them to do it because it's making such a difference. We basically have a VIP visibility and influence program. We have an aggressive quick launch service, so it does not take forever to get launched. In 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how quickly we can get the needed data from you. And that includes building a LimeLight system, verifying your Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus accounts, importing your database into the LimeLight system, creating a custom email to write the reviews, gathering any existing success stories in any form, even if you have handwritten ones, hard copy ones at the office. We get those, we upload them. Scouring the internet for existing reviews and successes online and uploading them to LimeLight. And then you get an implementation call from the LimeLight delivery team to train your team on how to use the thing, launch your first LimeLight campaign, collect some immediate reviews from friends, family, and staff, and just get going. So that's the quick launch service. And then the additional bonuses for immediate sign-up are 5 additional hours of coaching. You get a really customized showcase site, graphics. You get this cool video logo reveal in all your online videos that shows your brand and your logo, and it looks really professional. Custom branded check-in screen for your office. A snapshot report that shows where you stand now and where we're going to take you. We're also throwing in an ebook, answers to the 21 key marketing questions, and a 6-month subscription to our weekly marketing webinar series. We do these every Wednesday. So all of that stuff, if we total it all up, it's valued over $10,000. To get you started, we're looking at a one-time setup fee, including custom review showcase website of $29.95, and then going forward every month, including all the customer support, is $788 a month, just for the whole system and to keep that up and running. It's less than $200 a week, so and for the amount of quality it delivers, we're really happy about the whole thing. So that's the pricing on it. So what questions do you have?
I don't know if I have any questions. I'm just thinking about, what's the average amount of Google reviews that a doctor's office should have?
Yeah. Did you get that, Kenton?
Yeah, I definitely got the question. It all depends on your area, but what we do is we like to dominate the marketplace by being completely obvious, really obvious choice. And we usually have 4 to 5 times the highest number of the person next to us in terms of number of reviews, and the more the merrier. We have some doctors that have had goals to get to 1,000. They have in the hundreds and above 500. Obviously, Dr. Lee and women have taken, they've been on the program for 2 years, but the point is the more you have, the more, like Matt said earlier about good works well publicized, it becomes sort of an everybody knows type of thing. The more the public sees it, the more they are continually confirmed on that social proof that these guys are just doing great work. And that's really what we're trying to do is your marketing is attached to that. Everything that you do from an outflow perspective into the community is always attached because people look you up before they call or visit. So we just want to make sure that you have a well-represented company in such a drastic manner that it is the obvious choice, not just, oh, yeah, he's better or has more, or, yeah, this guy's at 30 and this guy's at 40. They're kind of about the same. It's like if he has 30, you actually have 100. So, and that's what we've done with Dr. Lee. And he's a specialist, so it's a little bit different because most all of his businesses comes from referrals. And when we first started with him, he didn't think he needed it. And for the longest time, many years, he didn't put any attention or focus on it. And it was a business. And he has over 1,400 referring dentists. He's in Orange County, one of the largest in California, if not the West Coast, in terms of oral surgery centers. And the moment that they started focusing on this, their entire practice changed, both the internal culture, the external culture, the experience that the people had. And he had a lot of negative reviews. We had to clean them up. But it's like I said, it's completely changed the focus. And as you can see now, he's at the top, and he is kind of interesting. He's an Asian gentleman, but he's constantly asking every day, what reviews did we get? What reviews did we get? And he's all excited about it because it's even changed the way he has looked at his own practice. So it's more than just that. So I know it's a long-winded answer to your question, but there isn't an average number. It's just that you want to be the obvious choice. And so whatever it's going to take to make you the obvious choice is what we shoot for.
Right. Just because, when I pull up us and I compare it to the other dentists, we have 18 reviews and we have 4.5 stars, and compared to the other doctor around here, that's a lot compared to what the other doctors around here have.
That's good.
But it's good. It's little compared to what you guys are getting, your doctors.
Yeah. What city are you guys in?
I'm in Kissimmee.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, obviously you're doing well, and you just want to make it better. And when you're doing marketing, when you really, think of it yourself. If you saw somebody that had your amount, and you saw somebody that had a little amount, there's definitely a difference. You're probably going to choose you. But if you had, say, 45, the other guys had what they have, or above 50, all of a sudden it's kind of like you're really starting to stand out. And it's 18, it's good, it's great, it's awesome.
But it's not you're talking about a lot more.
Yeah, well, just imagine for yourself if you were there looking and you saw your same listing and you had closer to 100 or close over 50. All of a sudden, it makes you feel like you're more established, right? It's not just a handful. It's not just a handful. It's like, oh wow, these guys are doing good work.
Right.
And we're trying to make your marketing more effective. We're trying to do everything that we can to increase the quality and the effectiveness of every action that you have. And it's those recommendations. And that's just Google, too. Remember, there's also the same, we have to get the numbers up for Yelp. We have to get the numbers up for Facebook. There's other sites that come up. And it also this plays a pivotal role in the visibility of the practice, because reviews now are weighted heavy in how the search engines and social media display and index you, like at the top or not. You can also, reviews are also used in a way to be found. So if your name is Dr. Bob at so-and-so practice in blank city did great emergency surgery on me at 3 a.m. when I broke my tooth, you can be found by those key terms, whereas before they were just inside sort of a box and you never really saw them. So it's really key now to expand upon that, because the services that you offer, the location that you're at, the name of the doctor, the name of the condition or ailment that the person had, all those things are key terms that come up now that play a role. So it's kind of a ripple effect, if you will. It's right. It affects so many things in so many ways today, but it does start there, where a new person who looks for somebody, that's what they see. So does that answer your question better?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good. Okay. Good. So what's your take on all of that? How does that impact you?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Me. How does it impact? Well, I've always been, trying to be active that way, being present on Facebook and being interactive and taking pictures with our patients and our staff and having a good website and, asking patients to, for reviews. I've been, trying to be as active as possible. So I know how important it is, because I know when I look for somebody, that's the first thing that I do is I Google them. Yeah. Totally. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's good. And are you one of the practicing doctors as well?
No.
Okay, so you're like an owner, and are you the office manager as well, or?
kind of. I'm trying to get other people. I'm getting other people trained.
I understand totally. Yeah. Okay, good. And what would you say is the biggest challenge that your practice faces right now?
Well, I mean, that could be it because we get new patients and it ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
We get a ton and then it drops, and then we'll get a ton and then it drops, and so I've been really working hard at trying to get consistent. We're going to be doing a commercial in October, filming a commercial just to have, because I'm probably taking up too much anyway.
No, it's totally fine. Please continue.
Oh, okay. I do a lot of direct mail marketing, and it's I think it's important to have other avenues because that's a good way to get new patients in, but it does ebb and flow. There's going to be times that they drop out, and then I need to have something else. And I've tried so many other things.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying a commercial, but I think I'm pretty sure that's going to be successful.
No, that sounds awesome, and you're quite right about hitting it from as many channels as you can, because of the practices we work with that are really okay, these guys are killing it, and they're doing I just saw a practice that did 142 new patients over the last month. That's serious production. So what are these? In a review of so what's the caveman assessment of what these guys are doing that's bringing those kind of numbers? Is they're marketing on many channels, and they're paying attention to their reviews as well. And I think, in my own kind of conversion to this whole LimeLight thing and seeing the light and all of that was really it's kind of lies behind whatever other marketing efforts you do. Because even this, my company here was really born in the basement of a dental practice, and it was born on the whole subject of direct mail, which has been kind of the bread and butter of this company for 10 years. And then just, in the last couple of years, and really when the dawn of the age of search, and the age of the internet, really, I started to notice that now there was this whole other unseen factor of the postcard still works, but it drives people to the internet. And if you're not bringing your A game to the way you represent it on the internet, you can lose. Or another thing that Kenton pointed out is your promotion can drive people to the internet and actually drive people to somebody else that's better represented, which would be really rough. That's a bitter situation, where your postcard gets someone to take action and go to the internet, but another guy's reviews are much better, and they're well, Dr. Jones seems much better, so I'll go to him. So we don't want any of that. So I've really gotten aggressive, and that's why I'm doing this webinar, and I'm repeating it just so that people really get that this review thing is really, it's pivotal, and it really lies behind whether you're doing commercial, whether you're doing a referral program, whether you're doing anything, Google AdWords or what have you. It's really, the reviews has to be there as the backbone behind all of that, because that's the factor of social proof.
Right.
And that there's really there's no replacement for a fellow citizen saying, you know what, I know Dr. Jones has got this nice commercial and he does these nice postcards, but I'm telling you from the heart, this guy's awesome, and I'd take my family there and refer my friends to him. That's that's the clincher, So, in my humble opinion and hopefully objective opinion, I think that this would do a lot for you. What's your take on that?
Oh, yeah. No, I totally get where you're coming from. I do have another question. How are you guys? So is LimeLight part of Galaxy, or how are they connected at all?
Yeah, basically we're partnered up with Kenton. LimeLight is basically the creation of Kenton and his tech team. It's obviously a fairly technical product. Mm-hmm. And so we partnered up with him just because we see how pivotal this whole online review thing, and for all of our other marketing products to work well, we need to make sure that people are handling their review scene. It's just it's a pivotal thing for us. So fortunately, Kenton reached out to us, and we got aligned with him, and it's been great. And so basically, we've just kind of melded. We've just melded together. So we basically co-branded, so we offer it through Galaxy, and then he's got the whole team of guys who know the software inside and out and will do the actual delivery and service to the client.
Right.
Yeah. And then we also work with the client. We monitor their statistics and make sure everything's going well, and it's just a partnership. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.